Welcome back to the morning show. Wise Guy Wednesday. You see them at work at ponds and lakes, bugs walking on water.
I have never seen a bug walk on water at work. Until today.
Right. Well, this is part of a very interesting phenomenon called surface tension. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. And to understand how this works, you have to think like an atom or a molecule.
Think like one.
You have to think like one, okay?
Okay.
So just to demonstrate this first, we're each going to be a water molecule.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Now you have to pretend you have a bunch of arms, and you're going to, these are like the bonds that the water molecules have, and they hold on to their neighbors a little bit, okay? So you imagine you're holding on to the neighbor who's below your feet, because there's molecules all around you. You're holding down there, and over there, and up front, and over there. You're holding on everywhere, and you're holding on to the guy who's above you also, right?
Right.
Now, suppose you're the atom that's right at the surface of the water. Okay? Now, you've got this arm. Stick your hand up. Come on, stick your hand up. There you go. Now, you're reaching up there to grab a hold of the next guy above you, but there isn't one.
Nothing to hold on to.
Nothing to hold on to. So instead, you grab a hold of the guy who's next to you, like this.
Okay.
Okay? And so all these extra arms or bonds between atoms, instead of holding on to the ones above, are going to hold on to their neighbors. And so what happens is the very, very top layer of atoms makes kind of a skin because they're hanging onto each other tighter than all the other ones are. So you get to sort of skin on the surface of the water, and that's surface tension. That's the cause of that.
Okay.
So you get a layer of atoms on the very top, which is actually kind of strong, that holds on to each other. And so you can do interesting things, like you can float things that normally wouldn't float, and float is a bad word, because the reason, for example, I can take this piece of aluminum, this is a 1 yen coin from Japan, it's made of pure aluminum.
And we've all got those in our pockets.
And aluminum sinks. If I just dropped it in there, it would sink. In fact, there's one already in there that did sink.
Now this...
But if I very carefully lower it onto the surface, it stays on top.
And this property has nothing to do with why boats float. That's completely different.
No. That's buoyancy, and we'll do that some other day. We've already done it. I can take a paper clip, and I can do the same thing. All right. If I very, very carefully lower it onto this skin of water molecules that's on the top, it stays on top. And a paper clip is made of steel, and we know steel will sink. Right. And so, interestingly, what we can do is we can actually destroy the surface tension. One of the things that will wreck that is just plain old soap.
Well, let me first ask, though, how heavy can something be to be held by the surface tension?
That's a good question, and you should try an experiment at home, Matt, just like all the people watching can do this, and you see how big a thing you can float. I mean,
now, what does the speed of the object being placed on the surface of the water have to do with it? Because you did it very slowly, and
I did it very slowly.
Bugs zip right in there.
Right. Well, see, I did it very slowly because it's like a little layer, like a little tarpaulin on top of the water, you can think of it, but it's not that strong. And if I drop things down there too quickly, it just breaks right through.
Rip a hole in it.
Right, so it's not that strong. And in fact, we can make it weaker by just taking a little bit of soap, which is what I have here, and dropping it in there. Whoops, and you see how that guy
goes the paper clip.
The paper clip just sank right away. What soap does is it destroys that mesh of atoms that are hanging onto each other, and basically...
And how did it expand through, I mean, the water's still, how did it expand through there so quickly?
Well, when you put anything on there, you have diffusion going on, and that could be another show. And so what happened was those soap molecules very quickly diffused all throughout the surface.
Right.
And in fact, we're going to do a little thing in the next segment where we're going to use that kind of diffusion of soap to power a little boat. We can have boat races.
Great.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Something to look forward to. It's Wise Guy Wednesday on the morning show. We'll be back with more with Matt's coming up.
First, though, at 6:53. Robert, what you got?